Hi there, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive here. Welcome to Feathers of Wisdom. This week I thought I would kind of get a little vulnerable with you guys and talk about a situation that I'm currently dealing with in my own personal life. I have run into a really big fat pattern in my life that I am currently working to break. And I thought, well, what a great opportunity to talk about this, because I'm sure I am not the only person who sometimes gets stuck in a pattern or a habit and just not sure how to break out of it in order to move forward. And of course, let's talk about patterns a little bit. Sometimes patterns can be good. It starts off as some structure, giving you some direction on how to deal with a situation or how to move forward with a project. But after a while, the pattern can get stale and stagnant. It becomes a crutch in a lot of ways, or it becomes such a habit, so by rote, that you're not even aware of the fact that you are continuing to respond or react in a particular way every time you are triggered by a certain situation or scenario. And that happens to be my situation, that I have finally seen a pattern in my life. I've seen it repeat and recur over and over again, and I'm finally kind of going, okay, I'm done. I don't want to be on this hamster wheel anymore. I'm ready for a change. I'm ready for something different, because I keep making the same mistake or doing the same thing over and over and wondering why there's no change. And I think that's the definition of crazy, isn't it? When you do something, the same thing over and over again, but you expect a different result. And really what needs to happen is you need to just do something completely different. So what a great opportunity to ask the cards, to ask the universe for some guidance on how, how to go about breaking patterns. Unwanted patterns in our lives, patterns that may have served us in the past, but really are no longer serving us today. Ooh, and I've got one that just fell out at me. All right. Celebration. So this is a card of emotions. This is obviously a card of celebration. It's about coming together. It's about reaching out and collaborating with friends, collaborating with people who can make a difference in your life, people who can help you to move forward, people who enjoy what this life has to offer and can enjoy it with you and can celebrate with you. I think this is a really interesting card to pull when we're talking about patterns and cycles. One of the first things that I did when I started to feel stuck and feel like something wasn't right and I knew I needed a change, but I didn't quite know how to break it. And I didn't see the pattern for what it was. I didn't see it very clearly. I sought out friends that I trusted. I sought out people who I knew would be very open and honest with me. They wouldn't tell me what they thought I wanted to hear. They would be very honest with me about discussing where I was at and the choices I was making and direction that I was going. So I think that's a great message in terms of don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to reach out for some guidance, for some clarity, for some help, and going to people that you trust or know. Another interesting thing about this card is that we often feel like we have to do everything alone. We feel that these problems or situations or issues that we have they just weigh on us so heavily, and we feel somehow like we have to take on that burden, that we have to do that all by ourselves. And the answer is no, we don't. Collaboration over competition, especially in terms of dealing with a personal pattern or cycle that you want to break, there is nothing wrong with reaching out and asking for help and asking for someone to hold your hand or to be there to walk that journey with you. Because the bottom line is we've all been there. We've all had that. I don't care who you are or what you have. you've established some kind of pattern or cycle. It could even be an addiction to smoking. That's a really good example. It's an extreme example of a pattern or a cycle in a person's life, but it can be as much as that. And when you are looking to quit smoking, there is absolutely nothing wrong with, reaching out. We have the patch, we have the sorry, I'm not a smoker, so I don't know, but there's an e-cigarette that you can have out there. There are different medications that you can try. There are 12-step programs even for quitting smoking, and a lot of people talk about having a really helpful support system. And whatever that looks like for you, it's really important to have that support system. And so I feel like that is what the message that my Divine Dream team is given to us today is when you are dealing with patterns and cycles, remember that you're not alone, and you absolutely can ask for help, and help will be given. And it is so much easier to go through something like this and learn how to break a habit, break a pattern or a cycle when you're doing it with somebody else, when you have someone else there who can also be a trigger for those patterns so that you can see what you're doing, not just supportive and helpful, but sometimes it's about people triggering you. And even though that's a challenge and sometimes you want to punch them in the face or whatever the case may be, in reality what they're offering you is a big fat gift. And the gift is showing you where you need to heal, showing you where the pattern is, making it so obvious, so glaring that you can't miss it. Anyway, that's Feathers of Wisdom for this week. I hope this reading helped you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Take care.